we went very white, contrasty right now. Because obviously at this point, we have both been brides, we've both gotten married, so we have a lot of notes we've taken for you guys on the things we wish we had known before we started this process. And I know some of y'all are about to get married, getting married, engaged, thinking about getting married, or just dreaming about getting married. But take these notes because I promise you they'll come in handy when your time comes. Yes. And we're being brutally honest here. We're gonna be brutally honest about all the things weddings. Yes. So, and brides. Let's get started. Number one, the very first thing we wish we knew / regret a little is regret super early. I was so stressed out with planning the wedding that I forgot about myself in the process and literally did not buy myself anything to wear for my bachelorette, or I forgot about all of these things and ended up having to last minute scramble for outfits or just stumble across something that worked. But my suggestion would be buy all things white, have everything decked out and prepped and planned a week after you get engaged, so then you don't have to think about it later. Yeah, as soon as I got engaged, I was adding 10 white dresses to my cart and 8 bride sweatshirts. So I actually feel in that regard, I was really prepared, but it came in handy, and that's where I feel that's a great piece of advice is buy yourself all that white stuff, do it soon, and then you just literally don't have a closet. It's not something that's stressful later. It's oh, I bought that 3 months ago, I'm good to go. So. But it's not just and try it on. I did not try mine on, and that was the part of the try it on. Don't do that. Learn from our mistakes. Another one would be, and this is something that's really funny and personal to us because Brooklyn actually got a lot of heat when people found out that her and Dakota picked out their venue before they were engaged. Yeah, I actually did as well. I went and looked at venues before I was engaged, and I would suggest this to as many of you as possible. I mean, if you are in a super long-term relationship, you usually know it's coming up soon. You've either talked about it, you've given them your ring size. You usually have an indication of when it's coming up. You can at least pick out the venue, maybe not the date, but you can at least pick out a venue, and it's super helpful. I kind of had an idea it was coming, so I went and looked at some places I thought I would like, and I would highly recommend this because the people who maybe aren't looking at getting married, you might not understand, but wedding venues book out 1 to 2 years in advance. If you're wanting a specific day or you want to get married on a Saturday, you're gonna want to look at these venues and put a date down super duper early. Even if you don't know if you're getting engaged or you're not sure, it's nothing's gonna go wrong if you just put your name down on a date. Yes. Those babies book out so early. The other thing I was gonna know is that at venues, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are their prime days. They will charge more for those days. So if you are looking to save on your budget, you could have basically a Monday through Wednesday wedding, and your price will go down for the venue. If you're getting a venue that's super highly sought after, you're gonna have to. You can always cancel it too. It's if you don't get engaged when you thought you were going to, you can always just be never mind. Usually, if you're at most venues, the down payment they'll either give it back or it's very minimal, so you can usually cancel without too much damage done. Yeah, but just prepping early, buying yourself a bunch of white outfits, asking your bridesmaids super early so you know who's gonna be there on your big day. Yeah, and getting their help prepping and the venue, stuff like that. Just doing as much of it as early as possible. Same with wedding dress prep, because wedding dresses take a long time to come in. It takes 4 or 5 months for those babies to ship. Alterations, multiple appointments. It takes a long time. Yeah. So y'all gotta do that stuff early so you're prepared. Number 2. This one was more mine again than hers. I went and got my wedding dress I think a couple days after I got engaged. Tried on a couple, found one I really loved and bought it. But I will say that, I feel picking out your wedding dress is super romanticized. Everyone's always you put it on and you just no. And there's an element of that. I cried and I felt beautiful, but I felt that way in a lot of dresses. It was more of to me, what do I like? What do I feel beautiful in? What do I feel is realistic for the day and the venue, stuff like that. Don't get in your head if you're I like multiple dresses. I feel that's very normal. Guys, we all saw me wedding dress shop and I liked multiple dresses. I was confused between about 2 or 3 of them. That's okay. That just means you like dresses. Me. I know. I'm they're all beautiful. I would like to wear them all, but I can't. Any of them would make you look amazing on your wedding day. Don't feel if you're not having the aha moment that you're wrong. That's not not true. It's probably just because you like more than one, and that's completely normal. Yes, another piece of advice in this category of wedding dress in general is something that both Brooklyn and I wish we'd done, which is normally when you get your whole wedding outfit together, you don't want to put it on till your wedding day because it's super special and whatever. Put it on. Whole outfit on and wear it for like an hour. Walk around, jump in it, dance in it, do what you're gonna do on your wedding day, because it would shock you, and it shocked me how different it is on your actual wedding day. I put my dress on, I loved it, took it off, didn't put it on again until my wedding day, and then I had all these elements that I'd never actually tried on together before, and it actually made my dress increasingly difficult on my wedding day. It didn't seem to fit quite right, it was falling down a little bit, so things I hadn't anticipated because I hadn't tried it on all the way until my wedding day. So try your wedding dress, not just your wedding dress, but your whole wedding outfit on at least early. I don't care how early, but put it on early and wear it. So you feel something pinching, you know to wear something cushioned there. Or if you jump and it just really uncomfortable, you know, like you can't dance in it. You need to swap outfits. You need to tape it up a little. Like there's some things that you might not realize until you're wearing it, and so do that before your wedding day so you're not worrying about it on your wedding day. Number 3. It's okay if you don't love wedding planning. Again, weddings, engagements, everything is so romanticized. I feel like in the media and the movies, everyone's like, oh, it's the best time of your life. Don't get me wrong. Brooklyn and I had very different experiences. Yes. Don't get me wrong. I love planning. I love planning parties. I love planning things. And so I had a really amazing experience wedding planning, but Brooklyn didn't at all. She didn't like it at all. It was awful. And that doesn't mean I love my husband. I loved getting married, but the process of planning it and like the whole experience itself before my wedding day was really difficult on me. It was really stressful. It was really hard. I was kind of doing it single-handedly, and so don't feel bad if you're like, everyone's telling me this is the best time of my life, and I honestly, this is stressing me out so much. Don't feel bad about that. You can have a great wedding day and also love your spouse and all of these things without loving the actual process. Or you could love the process. Oh, this is a big one. Number 4, family politics. Our family's really great, and it wasn't too difficult. Families always have things. And when it comes to weddings, it does dredge some of that stuff up because you have all of your family in one setting. Yes. And so there's definitely like an aspect of balancing family politics with planning a wedding. And even if you're not anticipating it, like someone or something comes out of left field and you're like, oh my gosh. If people have strong opinions, if there's family that's being difficult, or so-and-so doesn't want to sit by so-and-so, or you put them closer to you and you must favorite them, all sorts of stuff. There's just all sorts of stuff. Do the best that you can. Just so ultimately, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. Ew. It was alive? Yeah. Ew. Okay, moving on. Just know that day is about you and your spouse. So as much as family politics do matter, if you just do your best, and other than that, it's about you and your spouse, and it's not about anybody else. Yeah. So as long as you two are happy, that's all that matters. If you are someone that has gotten married and hasn't had any issues at all with your entire family, if you haven't, let us know. That's nuts. Let us know. Number 5. This one's you, Brooklyn. Smaller weddings doesn't always mean it's going to be cheaper, which, you know, to some degree, yes, it's gonna be a little bit less expensive, but a lot of vendors will give you bulk discounts if you're buying a significant amount of certain things. And if you're doing a smaller wedding, you still have to pay the same price for a venue. You still have to pay the same price for florals and decor that you would for a big wedding. So it can still be just as expensive as a big wedding. It depends on how you're doing it. If you're doing it really, really intimate in a really small venue, you might have a cheaper expense. A lot of the times you don't always save as much money as you think you're going to by doing a smaller wedding. So I had 300 people at my wedding. It's a big party, a big shebang. She had like 80 people at her wedding, very small, intimate wedding, and we ended up spending about the same amount. Mine was a little bit less, obviously, because it was a smaller wedding, but it wasn't as significant as I thought it was going to be in regards to how much I was going to save since it was smaller. So that kind of shocked me, and I figured I would let you know. Sometimes it's not always that way. It's good to note that if you want to spend less on a wedding, the first initial reaction is to limit your guest list, which is great, but just know that there are gonna have to be other places you'll have to cut expenses to decrease that spending. Like if you wanna have a small guest list, but you still wanna have like a very extravagantly decorated wedding, you're probably not gonna cut that much
cutting
cost.
your guest list isn't gonna cut the cost.
It's mostly that you have to cut all aspects of a wedding. Cut some of your decor, cut some of your florals, don't spend as much on travel.
Find a cheaper wedding or a cheaper venue.
Yes, stuff like that is where you're gonna get the bigger discount rather than cutting people from your invite list. You'd actually be surprised how little that changes. Just a heads up, just a thought. Number 6, this is a little bit for me. I'm bad at people pleasing. I just wanna give people what they want. And so number 6 is try not to people please too much. It's important to remember that throughout this whole wedding process and the planning of it, that this whole thing is for you and your love and your spouse, and it is for your enjoyment and your marriage. And I feel like sometimes that can get forgotten in the process because people expect a lot out of weddings. You'll have friends ask you about their invitation and they weren't even on your list, or you'll have family members expect certain kinds of foods or just things like that. Things happen and people expect things and they are not scared to tell the bride what they expect. Sometimes you just want to say, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. And then you're just putting more on your plate. And it's not really realistic to do that.
I mean, everyone is important, but not as important as you. This is one of those times of your life where you're like, you have to prioritize yourself and your spouse and put your opinions and your choices first.
Something that no one told me as a bride was that you will have people come out of the woodworks that you haven't spoken to for 10 years and they'll expect an invitation, or you'll have people that you know of them and there's like your friends,
people that ask for
childhood friends
too. I had so many people that were like, hey, my so-and-so best friend's roommate wants to come, and I'm like, huh? I'm sorry.
It's just important for you and your spouse to sit down and make a list of who is important for you to have on that day. And once you have that list solidified, unless it's like an outlier situation and you want to keep your budget solidified, stick to that. And
my recommendation would be, like, if you're having a super small wedding like I did, send out announcements to people that aren't invited, because I did have a little bit of confusion where it was like people that were close enough to me to like think maybe they would get invited, but like you don't text someone and say you're not invited to my wedding, you know?
Can you imagine?
So it was kind of like
so bad.
They were like texting me like, hey, should I be planning on travel? And it's an uncomfortable kind of conversation, have to be like, oh my gosh, no, you know? So my suggestion would be, if you are trying to keep a limited guest list, that if there are people you feel like might sit on the edge, that you like let them know in a really kind way, like in a wedding announcement, not invitation.
That's kind of the hardest one, like the most uncomfortable conversation of just like, you might have to say no to some people and just expect that.
I'm gonna add a 6.5. I'm gonna add like a half in there that says, in regards to our last point, if you are trying to budget for a wedding, keep track of all your receipts, keep track of all of your payments. I was budgeting for my wedding and it's actually really hard. Random people will send you random emails, and everyone has different portals to pay them on, and some pay before the wedding, some pay after the wedding. It's really hard to lose track of how much you actually spend. So my recommendation would be to make like a sheet, a chart, a paper, anything that keeps track of all of that, so you have a total at the end and you know all the way through if you're staying under your budget or not.
On to number 7, which is something that's a little, like, listen, it's a little bit of a personal opinion.
Controversial
for like wedding talk, not controversial for anything else. I wish as a bride I had spent more time with Asa, my husband, on my actual wedding day. I feel like there's so much emphasis put on keeping yourself separate and doing the first look and
before anything, you know.
You're literally not even barely talking to each other because the day is so crazy.
And even once the ceremony happens, it's like you have all of these family and friends that want attention and want to talk to you and all these things, that even then you're really not getting any like you and your spouse time. So
I was really glad something Asa and I did after our ceremony. We actually went upstairs and like ate dinner together and had about like 20-25 minutes where our guests were filtering through and eating, and we were spending time together, and I was really really glad we got that little pocket of time, but I would just tell y'all to plan something like that in your day so you remember what the day is about, which is you two. Especially if you're a little bit more introverted, I feel like I felt like I spent 90% of the day like hanging out with everyone except for Dakota, and I didn't love that either. I felt like I wanted to spend, the day's supposed to be about, you know, me and him, or, you know, you and your spouse. And so I think I've heard of people doing it where they get ready together, or they like plan, like Bailey did, an hour or two where it's just them hanging out in the middle of the day to kind of get that intimate time. And I would highly recommend that. After doing it the traditional way, I think I wished I'd spent more time with Dakota. If you don't care, that's fine too. Whatever. Okay, number 8, which we kind of just covered, is don't forget to feed yourself on the wedding day. There's a lot of talk. You're up at 6 a.m. getting ready, and you forget, like, oh, that's breakfast, and then lunch, and then dinner. There's a lot of talk of feeding other people and what they're gonna eat, but there's not a lot of talk about what you're gonna eat and who's feeding you. So just plan that into your day. Don't forget to eat. That's a vital part of keeping your energy up, enjoying your day, and not being hangry. So plan lunch, plan breakfast, plan eating your own dinner, and plan like your favorite foods, like something you're gonna enjoy eating, you're gonna have fun. It's gotta be part of the day, it's gotta make you feel better. I would highly recommend that because it's really easy to kind of push off yourself and plan everything else. And I feel like everything we've covered up until this point has not just been you and I feel like this is conversations we've had with other friends who've gotten married, planned weddings, etc. So this is kind of a group advice. Everyone's telling you this. All these things to you guys. Okay, so feed yourself, we're good to go. Number 9 is when you leave for your honeymoon, because don't forget, you do leave for your honeymoon. Some people leave right after their wedding, some people don't. This is for the people that are leaving like from their wedding to their honeymoon. So just to be clear, typically, meaning there are other situations, this isn't the only one, but me and Brooklyn both did this, where we got married at our venue and then we had a getaway car or helicopter, which is insane, and a getaway, whatever, and then you go straight to your honeymoon. You are flying straight there, you spend a night and then you fly straight to your honeymoon. What you don't ever think about, I literally did not think about this on my day of, is that you have all this stuff at the venue that you're not taking with you on your honeymoon. Like your wedding dress, all your wedding day prep gear. I had people bring gifts to my wedding venue that I then had to have someone figure out how to get at home, stuff like that. I feel like after the wedding is planned, you forget about everything that comes after. And so my suggestion would be to have somebody that is like designated your maid of honor, your mom, your dad, whoever, your wedding planner, whoever it is, have them in charge of gathering all your stuff, because it can really get lost in the chaos. I still had a couple things get lost in the chaos even though I had someone designated on it. So make sure that you are in charge of this. Not only that, but the best thing that I just happened to do, because I just remembered literally pretty much day of, to pack 2 different suitcases. One for getting ready on your wedding day with all of your wedding outfit stuff, all of your reception stuff, whatever you might need. And the second one is the one you take with you on your honeymoon. So and all you grab the day-to-day stuff. 2 things from the first one and move it to the other one. Like your makeup bag and your toothbrush, and then you're done. So you have it separated already. It's completely clear what you are taking with you and what you are not taking with you, and it's just easy past that. But that's not something I feel like a lot of people say. I had to find that out the hard way. So learn it from me. And number 10, last but not least, this is my biggest piece of advice, and I feel like it's not really something I wish I knew as a bride. It's something I did as a bride that I want to tell all of the other brides to do, because it made my wedding day so incredible and easy to enjoy. And it would be that anticipate that things will go wrong. It's pretty much impossible when you have so many moving parts and pieces and people involved in one event for something not to go wrong. And so if you as the bride go into your wedding day just being happy to be there, happy to marry your spouse, and if anything above marrying your spouse successfully happens, your day is amazing. If you get hung up on the small things like the salad lettuce is wilted, or the lights were turned off, or the song didn't turn on right when I wanted it to, then you're gonna naturally just feel like the day was ruined, because things like that will happen. So if you go into it just being like, this day's great and I don't care and everything is wonderful, then you'll feel that way. I agree, like there is an element of like you kind of have to just let it go, and even though you've spent, you know, time and energy planning it and have this really worked up in your head, there's
there's nothing you can do if something goes wrong, so there's no reason to get worked up about it. If something does go wrong, I gave myself like 2 minutes to be sad about it, and then I was like, okay, it's done. Like, that's it. Like, you just gave yourself a couple minutes to put yourself together and reconfigure this new version of your wedding day in your head, and then that's that. I have just seen like so many amazing stories like that, because you see the wedding pictures of people who had their entire wedding in the rain, and they look so just happy to be there, and it's because they went into that with the attitude of what happens, happens, and I'm just happy to be marrying this person today, and if you go into it with that attitude, everything's gonna be wonderful. Yes. But hopefully it helps some of you guys who are prepping for weddings, who are thinking about weddings, who are dreaming of a wedding someday. Hopefully this helps you guys figure out some stuff to do that I wish I had known before I started planning. And if you guys agree or disagree or have stories along with any of these points, comment them down below. I want to hear them. Everyone read all the comments, because it's going to be so helpful hearing all the perspectives of all the people. So comment all the stuff down below, and if you want another video like this, just give this video a little thumbs up. And I'm going to do something we never do. Shout out to subscribe. Subscribe to our channel, guys.
Subscribe.
We haven't done that so long.
I
Go
know.
click the subscribe button.
Do it, guys.
Okay, and with that, we bid y'all adieu.